So because I've been getting so many of all these inquiries, right? So I was like thinking, okay, how can I help you all to, make a better sound decision? How can I guide you guys through this process? And perhaps some of you have went through this process and you never had a good experience, right? Perhaps you have been doing resale properties for the longest time and this is your first time going into a ballot or a new property. So because of all this confusion and all these noises going on, right? Today, I really want to take this chance to kind of share with you guys a few key things. Remember, buying a property is a very big purchase. Let's not rush into it. And I believe mistakes are definitely going to be made during this process because with all the confusion, all the noises going on, a lot of buyers will just jump into it without understanding. And it's a long-term commitment. It's not like $1 or $2 or $20, right? It's $1 million kind of purchase. And if you go in wrongly, you didn't realize it and you're stuck there for a long time, okay? So today, if you're heading into any one of the 6 launches, this video is for you and you want to continue watching this, right? Because I'll be covering 3 things. 3 things so that you can be a step faster than other people during the balloting process. And remember, all these things, you have to be pumped to do it. All right, so one of the key things that I work with so many homeowners, right? One of the key things is there are certain problems that I realize homeowners and busy professionals meet. The first thing is that you actually do not really have time during the weekdays or even the weekends to really do in-depth research. So we provide you, because you don't have all the resources. My role and my team's role is really to provide the resources that can help you make a better informed decision. But we can provide you all these resources and all the access into all the data, the numbers, the comparison, the analytics that can help you be more secure and be more confident. So in this video, I'm going to really deep dive into what we buy and how can you actually benefit from this access into us, right? So these are some costly mistakes I want to really just give you guys a quick overview. All right, the first thing is a lot of families that I realized when they kind of approach us or they found out somewhere and then they are very unclear of their own situation. They don't even know their own property plans. They don't know what's their situation right now and what is the future that they want to go for. So a lot of them are actually very, very unclear of the next step. And because you're unclear, right, it's very difficult for you to make any decisions, right? Even if the project or the price, the unit is extremely good for you. So you can see, right, there are some of them, they reach out to us and then they say that, oh, we've been following your channel, and then they find the analysis very sharp, no BS, okay? So of course, recently we have already done our analysis on Emerald Katong, but that's of course on video, there's only so much we can do. But if in that 45 minutes to 1 hour, you already gotten out value, can you imagine if we are working on one-on-one, right? How much more things we can dive in your own personal situation, you see? So like, for example, some of them, when they reach out, is that they're really totally unclear on like this gentleman here. So, we're thinking, should I buy a new property? Should I buy a resale? Which one is better for investment? There's a lot of all these doubts. And the moment when they reach out and they send this kind of information, right, it's very clear thing that they actually have not gone through much evaluation of the market. They have not done enough understanding, you see. So then he will say, oh, I used to be a firm believer of the HDB route. Then he own self answer with the prime and plus situation. What is the wait time? So there's always all these things that's going on. And there's another client also, like, in 15 years, well, I can actually flip property 4 to 5 times. So the key thing is that today, in order for you to make a better decision during the balloting process, you must be very clear of what is this property for. So you can see there's a lot of all these questions or then they will ask about, and they were like asking for a very specific type. And the key thing is that my question always is, have they actually done enough work to decide that this is the one for them? So this sometimes when I got all these inquiries, right, it also kind of made me wonder, like, consumers really so rich until they can just anyhow buy property. So I'm also kind of concerned that, okay, have they been guided properly, and most importantly is what is next after the purchase. You see, a lot of things may not be the question, so I always tend to overthink on the behalf of my clients. Second mistake that a lot of people always make is they cross over their budget, meaning their initial budget maybe is at 3 million. Then when the prices indicative come out, then they count. Oh, wow, 3 million, I can buy maybe perhaps a low floor unit. Then they say that, wow, then I should go and increase my budget to maybe 3.2 so that I can get a higher floor unit, just an example. So this is what I see a lot of people make the mistake. All right, the third thing, right, that you all must really do is many of them don't choose unit. Okay, you'll be surprised. So some of you may be thinking, this one, sure everybody do ma? Okay, so this is, I think, very important. Because why? Because if you don't have a specific unit selection, maybe you want to look at 2-bedroom, and 2-bedroom also got different layouts, also got different facings. Their facings and the layout are usually the difference, right? All right, so for example, like some of these they were sharing like, oh, can you share like specifically just the 3-bedroom? Well, that means you already kind of work out. Likely it's based on the location you want, the project you want, and the budget. And you kind of look at, oh, the indicative by developer is this amount. Then you roughly, oh, this is the 3-bedroom I go for. But 3-bedroom also got different sizes, different facing. So which one is much more suitable for you in a longer run or a mid-term, depends on your situation, right? So like this one, even more specific. Wow, can I have, I mean, of course, this one is the last time property, right? It's stack 82 and 83. Which one has a better future potential? Hey, but you haven't even calculate whether, based on the numbers, if this property cross a certain price point, certain PSF, is it still worth to even consider? So that's where we uncover, we provide you a different perspective. Not that your perspective is incorrect. Okay, you definitely know what you want. Okay, our role is not to argue and sway you from what you want. But wouldn't it be helpful if you have another perspective, somebody to just kind of become your devil's advocate, kind of argue with you a little bit, and then throw you certain questions that you may not have thought before you make the decision? Wouldn't that actually give you a better assurance that, hey, actually I've considered all the directions, all the different opportunities before I buy a property? Our role is not just to help you to purchase. Our role is also to prevent you from buying somehow. All right. So of course, the fourth thing is always the emotional traps. Like it or not, property, no matter how much logic it goes in, the emotional part it is. That's why show flats are built for, right? Show flats so pretty, so beautiful. The moment you step in, you fall in love with it. I can tell you, I myself also happened one. When you go in, it's like, wow, the beauty of it just draws you in, and you suddenly, everything tastes very nice. Everything smells very nice, right? But then when you go back, cooling down period, things starts to come already. You realize, oh, you better put on your thinking logical hat also. We have some clients who come in and then I thought that they bought at about 2020, but the unit was actually about $80 more than what she is expecting. All right, so I'm waiting to enter at 2,500 max. So they are now starting to self-justify. But here, dilemma. This one, because it was on a higher floor, but whether can justify the extra amount paid, blah, blah, blah. So you try to justify for your $80 PSF more, and then of course, everyone will have your own concerns with the ABSD cost because of PR, all this, etc. What are the longer risk return, and on second look, the 411 unit seems a bit too small. That's why they want to choose the show flat unit. Do you see? Show flat unit. This is how the business works. All right. So of course, one of the other traps is that they just buy anything, or based on their situation. Then when it comes to the day, then they just buy anything because they feel wasted. Wow, they queue the whole morning or whole afternoon. Then after that, walk back empty-handed. Who lie? Then a lot of times is they don't know what's going to be next. All right, they buy already, very happy, agent also with you, blah, blah, blah. Then after that, they leave you there. That's it. Then they maybe move on to find other queue or other clients. Nothing wrong with it. All right, but more importantly is that what happens after the purchase. But most importantly, I can tell you, like for example, this client of ours, right? So when they meet us, right, you can see that they are very lost. They're kind of very lost in what they need to do, right? In terms of their first purchase. Should they buy, should they rent, should they buy a new launch? And they don't want to make a mistake buying into the wrong property. So of course, they came on board with our one-on-one consultation session. Basically, we are here to help you also to gain a better understanding of the real estate environment. Because if today you lack the knowledge, you don't understand much, right? How are you going to make decisions? So we also have to calculate a lot of the finances, your down payment, legal fees, stability, everything you need to make sure everything is on the dot before you progress. The key thing is that how can you optimize your situation? And what we have done during this period was provide them with research data and numbers, and also into the deeper understanding of the transformation of Singapore. And we all use data-driven numbers. That's why you don't have all this access, you don't have all these resources, tap on us. You don't have the time, tap on us. We basically tabulate everything, we consolidate everything to share with you in a bite size so that it's easy for you to understand. Of course, we also assisted ample assistance in their selection process and even shortlisting the potential units in order to be well prepared for the bidding process. Balloting, or bidding is balloting process. Okay. We were also able to consider a walk away PSF. Our role is we want to make sure that you are very comfortable, you are very confident of the purchase, so that in the next 3 to 4 years down the road, hey, we can do something again. All right. So the last thing that is very important is what we call buyer's remorse. And it happens. Don't say that, how can people give up the 5% deposit? It will happen, especially if everybody is not doing well in terms of their research. Buying property, you must have peace. And it's not just about emotional peace. The logic piece is also important. Now. You must have certain logic, certain numbers, certain data support to help you. All right. Like for example, this one, ask me, wow, all these questions that, wow, is this stack better lah? Is it seems too high lah? This one is after they buy that. After they buy, then they ask throughout all these questions to me. The layout is actually quite bad, huh? I realized, wow, then the block big. This is the property they buy already, but then yet they have so many comments about it. I also like, hey, then how come you buy in the first place? You see, but I cannot blame them. I cannot blame them because either they have not done research well enough or the agents supporting them do not have enough knowledge or enough experience to help them. So I can't stop you all from finding your friends or whoever. Nothing wrong. One move wrong means it's going to hold your property for a longest time. But if today you are given a second opinion, a different perspective to decide, is this a safer way for you to buy property? Wouldn't it be better? All right, so we are your second option. You want to go with your friends, your relatives, by all means, but let's seek a second opinion and see whether you're comfortable or not, correct? If today somebody who is helping you did not buy, how would they know what to do? How do they know the process? Yes, the process is similar, but they themselves, how can they use their own experience to guide you? You see, even if they bought something or if they bought a new one before, when was the last time they bought? And also, you also must find out if they have bought something, how is their growth potential? You know, the property that they choose for themselves. And of course, we are trying to see times without COVID. Because if anybody will show you the last few years, everybody made money, right? The last 2 years, everybody also made money. So that's why it may not be accurate stuff. And the reason why I want to share with you this is because in 2018, we ourselves also went in for new launches. Okay, but of course, we have done this with a lot of research and data. During then, 2018, the market was actually not so good. Economy was not good. It was highest price in the market. Interest rate also was very high. But because we go back to our fundamentals and we understand how to do property. So whatever I'm sharing with you, it's not just we do for our clients. We are doing it for ourselves as well. So we bought this property at 1.059 million. And in 4 years, right, because of COVID, right, we sold the property at 1.2 million. Okay, this is just a 2-bed, 2-bath unit during then. Wow, then you will say, wow, 2-bedroom, 1.28. Wow, the value now is how much? Okay, meaning today, if you are going to buy a 2-bed, 2-bath, right, how much is it going to cost you? You see, so times have, the times of the cost will always increase. We cannot go back in time and say, hey, I want to buy back a 1.28 million or even $1 million property. Don't have really. So this is how I want to, give you guys the assurance that today experience count. And if somebody is doing it themselves, then wouldn't it actually enhances the entire experience? Because we will know what's going to come forward. We know what's going to happen. We're going to guide you 10 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead. And of course, during every ballot process, right, way before, we will already be doing a lot of homework to prepare yourself, like how we buy ourselves. Okay. So of course, a lot of things you may not be able to control. Okay. So during this process, there are many things that is beyond our control. We can't do much things. Right, but we can what? We can prevent some of all these things from happening beforehand. So the first thing, right, is today we cannot control our ballot queue number. The timing is this way. Usually one day before the actual launch day, you will already know your queue number. Okay, so they will ballot and they will tell you beforehand. So why would they need to tell you beforehand? So that you can also be prepared, right? So usually during that day when we already know your queue number, be it whether it's in front or back, we will already start contacting you. Do spare time during that day. Okay, because again, remember, we want to over-prepare first. We want to over-prepare to help. And that is the first thing that it will happen. And the second thing is because we only know the price on the ballot day. So this is also, we will do a lot of what ifs. We will do a price matrix to compare, like based on your affordability. Based on this price, if let's say the price goes up to X amount, how much do we still want to go for it? X plus 10, X times 10%, for example, right? Is this still a safe entry? So that's why beforehand, right, we will do a lot of preparation in terms of what? Comparing a lot of the launches, the current units. Then we will see, is this a safe entry for us? So the pricing of the units is important. Because why? Because when the pricing is out, it's really to make a decision, is it a go or no go? Okay, the go or no go is very key, very important. Today also there will be a situation where maybe the units are sold. So do you have a backup? What if this layout or this size specifically has already been sold? Can we accept the other bigger or smaller size? So all this is really a lot of computations, a lot of scenarios, and anyone who has not done this well, right, they will just stand there and they just wait for you to decide. So the last thing, of course, is also when price increase. All right, so always prepare for the worst because pricing do increase during the launch day. So based on the unknowns, many things can happen. So one of the key things that during one of the launch, okay, I don't know this client before. I just walked out from this show, ballot. I said, yeah, I know that there's a ballot going on and I'm queue number 1. I said, congrats. I immediately congrats him. I said, congrats. Wow, you have chosen your best unit, everything. So then after that, he said, no, I walk out. Wow, I was super stunned and super shocked. I said, huh? How come you walk out? You have the best choice. You are number 1. You have the best units. Nobody has selected any units. You will know the pricing way ahead. How come you never buy? So he was sharing with me that he feels very uncomfortable. I said, uncomfortable with what? He said that although the project is something that they have been wanting to buy, they don't feel at ease that is that a right pricing to enter when they see the launch price. Then they say that at the same time, is this a safe price for me to enter? And can I sell in future? What is the pricing I should be looking at to sell the property in future? You see, so these are all questions that he was having doubts. And that's the reason he walked out from a queue number 1 situation. Okay, so I want to give you a glimpse, right, on one of the key things that we usually do, right, whenever we buy a property, especially like new launches. It will be a similar concept that we also help you all to look at sale property. During this period, we were doing a lot of comparison in terms of numbers. So we cover quite a fair bit in terms of our REI method. And then we will come to the selection process where we will come out all these numbers. So in this situation, we were like comparing some of the resales. If those of you who are already very familiar, this is the east side. If we're doing certain comparison between some of the leasehold properties as well as the freehold, how much of a premium are we looking at? So numbers cannot line up, my friend. So we will do what? We will do all this comparison to let you see from one glance, right? Right. So this is how in-depth we go to, because our objective is always what? Buy with the intention to sell. So when we're doing this, we were like the entire OCR and RCR. We were comparing the entire OCR and RCR, all the prices, new property, resale property, every day we kind of cover. Then we pinpoint where is the gap. Where is the gap? Not just in terms of pricing, maybe even the size is also a comparison. So I remember when we were doing this research, right, you can see a lot of them are the 1 bed and 1 plus study configuration. Today, our role is to help you look at a safe entry as well as a safe exit in future. How can we look at a safe entry for you? If today a RCI and leasehold property, a new property, is going only at about $2,400 per square foot, are you safe? Do you feel safer buying this kind of property than you anyhow randomly? You see, so that's why we go through quite a lot in-depth data research to help you make a safer decision. That's all we want. So when you are safer, you feel confident, you also will introduce more people to us, right? So that's how our business continues. And every cycle, when we come back every 3, 5, or even 6 years down the road, we will continue this cycle to help you based on current strategies. Right. So this is what we usually do in our in the 3 years review. We will redo everything again. The market sentiment, we will cover market cycles. The last 3 years, definitely something has changed. We will look at economics indicators. How is the supply and demand going on? So all these things we will kind of go through a lesson and keep yourself updated. So these are all complimentary based on our services to you after the purchase. Okay, so one of the key things you have is you have live access to our monthly reports. Okay, every single month, whether it's commercial, whether it's new home sales, even GCB or even shop houses, right? Some of all these properties you may never even access before. But through us, we can actually provide you with all this information and you get yourself updated in terms of property. So this is something that we do. And also, bonus number 2 that we always provide for our clients is you have an access to our teams, meaning our bankers that we work with for the last 2 decades. Our law firms, the law firms that we work with, their fees are more competitive, but the service that we provide is what is most important. How many of you have lawyers and bankers that you can actually call them almost 24/7 on the ground? Yeah, that's why the people that we work with, they understand our work needs that, and they will support us as much as possible. Then, of course, what I share with you all, the regular review of the existing plan is also very, very important. And today, 6 launches, confusion going on, definitely. But if you want to reach out and really seek certain directions, okay, clarify certain things that you really are looking at, but you don't know whether is this really the right move, whether your finances are calculated correctly, then you can scan the QR code, reach out to us, or we'll be in touch with you, and let's see how we can help you progress in your journey. So today, if you're on the fine line, you kind of exhausted everything. Wow, my CPF is maximum, my loan is maximum, my down payment, I already stretched everything. I go and dig into my piggy bank really. Then you better be careful a little bit. Okay, I'd rather be kiasu, kiasi, and over-prepared than later on when we purchase, it's going to be a huge burden on yourself. Okay, I hope that today's session give you guys a different insights of how new launches are done and what are the key mistakes in a balloting process potentially you will make and how you can avoid them by doing the right thing and overly prepared before ballot process. All right, with that, reach out by scanning the QR code, and I'll see you guys real soon next time.